Hey Roadrunners, it's Mr. Ford coming at you with two book recommendations of some new books that we have available in the library. The first book is this one that we're looking at right now. It's called Land of Cranes by Aida Salazar. In this book, we meet a 9-year-old girl named Petita who lives in Los Angeles, and her dad always tells her stories about her being a crane, just kind of like this metaphor that she could go anywhere and be anything, and that her people have been like cranes in the Americas for hundreds and thousands of years. One day, Batita's dad does not pick her up from school, from the daycare after school, and that's not normal. And so she waits and waits, and finally her mom comes and picks her up. And it's a very intense story. Lots of things happen. So the reason that Batita's dad didn't pick her up is because he was picked up by ICE, the Immigration and Custom Enforcement's office, and he is eventually deported back to Mexico. And so Aida and her mom are left pretty much alone in California. They have some family, but her mom is also just found out that she was pregnant. So they try to figure out a way that they can like get reunited with their dad, or to get her dad to come back home to the United States. And so they never can do that. And part of the story is that they end up going to they're going to go visit their dad because there's a park in Southern California that you can stand on one side and be in California, on the other side and you're in Mexico. And so they're going to meet at this park to visit. And so she goes to see her dad, but they accidentally run across the border into Mexico, and they don't make it back into the United States. And Batita and her mom are both taken into custody by the immigration officials. And so this novel is really issue oriented. It has a lot of things that are happening in our world today. One thing I like about the story is it's a really hopeful story. It's really believable. You get to see kind of what life is like for Batita and her mom as they're taken into custody, into these detention facilities. And what I always tell people, if you've listened to me any, I like if I can get the more pages read the quickest, I like that. And so one of the things I like about this book is it's real lyrical and kind of written in poetic verse. And so here's a sample of two pages. And so the poem there that says they drive us through talks about when they're taking them to the detention facility, and it says they drive us through a desert to the detention facility, not cranes, criminals. And so ties back into that metaphor that she thinks that she's a crane, but she doesn't feel like a crane anymore. She feels like a criminal. So that book is called Land of Cranes, and it's by Aida Salazar, and it is a really good read. The next book I'm going to tell you about is hopefully my feel-good book of the day, and it's called Twins. It was written by Varian Johnson and was illustrated by Shannon Wright. It's a graphic novel. In this book, we meet two twin sisters, Maureen and Francine, who are about to start 6th grade. And Maureen and Francine have always been in the same class. They've always had the same friends. They've always pretty much done everything together. But Francine is kind of tired of that because she kind of feels like she's always second place to Maureen. So this book is really fast-paced because it's this graphic novel, and it's really character-driven because what you find is that Maureen and Francine start to have a conflict in 6th grade because Maureen really depends on Francine. She's kind of shy and introverted, and she's always depended on Francine to be like kind of almost like her protector and to defend her and stand up for her. And you start to see them kind of growing apart, but also growing up and maturing in this book. But it's really angst-filled because they're kind of dealing with those emotions of becoming their own person and not depending on someone else. And so it's a really authentic story where we see like these family relationships between sisters and just how their family would deal with things, because the sisters don't want to eat supper together and their parents tell them that's not an option. And their parents also make some choices that probably in the end are good for the girls, but that they view as really unfair. And so I think we've probably all felt that way with choices that our parents have made that affect us. And so it's a really realistic story. It's you can see the illustrations here. It's really colorful. And in this story, I'm trying to see, it's hard for me. I think in the story, the person right here in the pink, this is Francine, and this one is Maureen. Um, One of the things that Fran, she starts to become known as Fran, and she joins choir, and Maureen joins something called kind of like the ROTC. So these are my two choices of some books that I've read recently that I hope you will enjoy. They are available both in the library, and you can place a hold with me or be the first person to come pick them up, or you could probably get access to them through Sora, our district ebook platform. So there is an app available for that, and they're also available on the web. Keep reading, Roadrunners. Have a great day.